Welcome to the Aqua Files, the pure water podcast, where we dive into everything water, contamination, filtration, purification, everything in between. I'm Spencer. I'm here with Brian. We're your hosts, and this is the podcast where we keep the water clear and the conversation flowing. As you can see today, we are not in a normal studio. We are on location at a soda shop. So we're going to film this whole podcast from this soda shop. So we're here with Chris Williams, the owner of Soda Life. This is the shop we're in right now. It looks awesome. So Chris, want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Yeah, Chris Williams, grown up in Payson most of my life. My wife, Chantel, it's her store, and she's always wanted to bring a store to the community that we can give somewhere for kids to go. We brought some pinball machines in, and we also wanted to make the highest quality product out there. I've got a lot of years in the beverage industry, and it's something I've always wanted to do. So that was one of the things I was excited when I called around and I was looking for the right filtration company. You guys checked all the boxes.
Right on. Yeah, so he's jumping ahead a little bit on what we wanted to talk about. But yeah, the reason we're here in the soda shop as a water filtration company is because Chris approached you. I'll let you talk about that.
Yeah, so Chris is my uncle. We've known each other almost my whole life. So when he reached out, I said, yeah, that's absolutely something we can do. And what he asked me was, I want the best water possible. Can you do that? Yeah, we can get you that. And you worked for Pepsi for a long time too.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. So I was a sales manager at Pepsi. I worked there for a long time, and I got to learn a lot of the trade secrets.
Yep.
And the proper way to what they call brixing a machine, but it's calibrating a machine to make sure your syrup to water carbonation is correct.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And a lot of the stores we did that at. I'll throw a plug out there, but Mi Rancherito in Payson is one of the ones that has a fantastic Pepsi.
Wow.
And that's something that we worked with them. We got that set up, but we wanted to take that to the next level, so we just wanted to have not just the best drinks in town, but a drink where you get a little spice to it, a little burn without the bad aftertaste.
Let me see if it has the burn. Oh, yeah. These things are good. So, you know what you're doing. Chris knows what he's doing when it comes to sodas.
Yes.
Which was cool because we are a custom filtration company. That's what we do. We don't do a lot of off-the-shelf. We don't do any off-the-shelf, really. And so when you came with all of your knowledge and your very specific requests, we got excited because we knew it was something we could do, but we knew it was tricky. And so...
Right.
And it was tricky. It took us about 3 months. We blew a lot of water lines, and we had several engineers involved, and it was okay because now moving forward, we definitely know the recipe for success. Mm-hmm. And I think that'll it benefits both of us.
Right.
Absolutely. So what was the main reason for you wanting this high quality of a water system for your soda shop? Was it health? Was it, protecting your equipment here in the shop? Like, what was the main?
There's a lot of factors that go into the fountain industry. And so I've learned one thing. I travel all over the country, and when you go to certain places, the drinks taste like where you go. And that's not something that we wanted to do. We wanted to have a drink that was consistent no matter if you bought it in Virginia, you bought it in Utah, you bought it in California. We just wanted to have a consistent drink like you'd see in a Starbucks. So we went out and we designed a system like that. And that's another reason why it worked out great with you guys is because you guys were willing to make some modifications and do kind of some of the crazy stuff that we were told couldn't be done. Because if you remember, when we talked to the Pepsi guys, they told us we were crazy and none of this would ever work.
Yeah. And the reason that most soda shops don't soften their water, and that's the cool thing with Soda Life here in this place, is that we've actually softened the water. Yeah. And with soda, especially fountain drink sodas, that's something that's really hard to do because what's the number one thing that flattens your soda? Salt. It's sodium. And most softeners have to have sodium. So anyway, we've been able to soften it with a softener that requires salt to regenerate but doesn't have any salt going into the system. So
even that part of the system is custom. And we built it to the water contamination you have, the size of this building, how much water you're going to use. A soda shop. How much water do you think a soda shop is using it per day?
Boy, that's a great question. I really don't know the answer to that.
I know the math we used.
Yeah, I don't really know the answer to that, but it's a lot of ounces into gallons. And so I'm not 100% sure, but I do know with so we did some other custom things with our water, and obviously we don't want to really put that out there. But when we were doing that process, we wanted to make sure that we could have enough of the quality that we're looking for. Yeah. And not run out, because that's very, very hard to do, especially when you're doing just that. You're softening the water and you're trying to get it right.
Yep.
And so when you guys came to us with some ideas, it was very helpful because we were excited. We spoke to several filtration companies. We spoke to 9 to be exact, and every one of them was the same way. It was their way or no way, because in their mind they were the only ones that could design or develop what they thought was the best. But every time I would find flaws in a system, that's just, you got to live with that flaw, and that wasn't good enough for me. So my ex-wife Paula had mentioned that, and I have a great relationship with her, by the way. So we had mentioned that Brian was doing the water systems, and I had known that. I just wasn't quite sure to the caliber you guys were at. But when I called Brian and told him what I wanted to do, you guys were excited and on board, and that was the first response. That's what we were looking for.
I think, Brian, did you even talk to Starbucks?
No,
you just looked into what Starbucks was doing.
Well, he had told me what he wanted, and I'm like, well, we can do it. We're going to have to learn along the way, but we can do it. And so, we looked at like the contaminants that he had that Payson has, and they're not high, but they're enough that we needed to do, like Chris said, it's a proprietary system here. But we removed all the things that he was worried about and stuff that he didn't even know was in the water. So
I mean, a big thing that we're working with is, it's impurities like chlorine and minerals. Like those are what are going to affect, like the consistency of your sodas, the flavor of your sodas, the ability for those syrups to mix, the carbonation to mix and last.
And you've even got to be the right temperature. So one of the things when it comes to a beverage in YA, if you ever open up a warm can of soda, it's going to foam everywhere.
Yep.
And you're going to get bubble burps, and you're going to get that indigestion because it's a warm soda. But if you get that soda to where it's ready to be a slushy, not quite there, but you get it really cold, about 35, 36 degrees, you're going to get that carbonation burn all the way down. And that's exactly how the cans are designed and the way they line the cans. And I've been to the production facility for Pepsi up in Ogden. I've watched them manufacture that. It's an amazing process to watch them manufacture soda. But when you watch them make that soda, everything in a can is 100% pure. And it has to be. It's a sanitary thing. And so we wanted to we made a very large investment. We wanted to make a large investment in putting into the water so we could have the highest quality drinks out there. And I'll challenge that now. There's nobody out there with drinks like ours. Nobody.
We go to a lot of soda shops. My wife loves, Utah's a big soda shop place. And so there are a lot of them.
Yes.
Man, we love the drinks here. They are phenomenal. And so
go ahead.
Yeah, so we just wanted to be separate and separate ourselves from that. And, one of the things, I just had an opportunity to actually talk to, we call him the mailman, but he's a gentleman that works down at the post office. And he came up with his own design or came up with his own mix, kind of like what you guys did, right? Mm-hmm. So now we have what's called a 5 o'clock somewhere mailman edition. That's been kind of fun, and we sell a lot of them. And so we're not just a soda shop, but we love to get our customers involved and when it comes to mixing drinks and have an opportunity to put things on a menu. So we really want to involve the community and things like that. That's awesome. So that's one of the things. We've got a new drink out. It's called the BS. That's it. We're drinking it now as we speak.
The BS. That's going to be on the menu for
You
Brian and Spencer. It's the Brian and Spencer. It's not what you think. We also we appreciate you having our logo up there for the filtered flavored water. That's awesome. So it's longevity flavored filtered water. That stuff's good.
It is good.
Had it the other day.
Yeah, that was the first time I tried it. It is good.
We wanted people to know that we're not just chlorinated water that you're purchasing, because that's you're obviously having to make a purchase on the water, and that's not something we want to be able to offer you the highest quality water. And so we tried to pattern after, and I know we're not Voss water, but I would say we're right up there with them.
Right.
Oh yeah.
When we you even look at our ice, we've got crystal clear ice, and so you don't get the impurity sticking to those as well. And so we really wanted to come up with the best water, come up with the best soda, and just have the best products. We just barely started selling pretzel bites. We've been open over a month, but it's taken us 3 weeks of testing to make sure we get the right product. And so that's that's something we've done as well. We pride ourselves in having a premium item, but not at a premium price.
Love that.
Yeah, well, it's kind of funny because Spencer was mentioned the other day. It's kind of interesting how pure and healthy your water is, and then like we were kind of wondering, like, you know, if there are any people out there that are then like kind of like worried. Well, now you're adding, you know, the soda, the sugar, different stuff to it. Like, but you do have just the water available, and like this water is not just your typical softened water. Like we've gone through and even if you go on the EWG's website for water,
so EWG.org, they're probably the biggest expert on water quality and contamination that's out there.
And they're a little bit more on the extreme side. Like they're going to be the ones that are like, okay, like you shouldn't have any of this, and you really shouldn't. But they set like really high guidelines. So like their guideline for arsenic is like 0.004 parts per billion, whereas the legal limit is 10. So like there's a huge disparity there, but like it's nice to know because like EWG says like, you know, what's actually safe. But arsenic in this area is 63 times higher than the EWG limit, which is insane, right? So it's got like 0.25 parts per billion, and a whole bunch of other. They've got the dichloride. I can never say that word. Can you say it, Spence?
Dichloroacetic acid, which is a disinfection byproduct. So anytime you're using chlorine to treat city water or any water, you end up with a byproduct that's created from that. That's a chloramine, and those are dangerous. Those are not. We shouldn't be drinking those, but it's better than the alternative, which is drinking E. coli, Giardia, Cryptosporidium, things that give you gut problems. So
and that's
what we have.
And that's the 5.8 times higher. Your haloacidic acids are 12 times the recommended limit, and then radium combined is 5.1 times higher than that limit as well.
And that's the EWG report for this.
Yes, for this store.
For this water district.
Yep. And so with those, and the main potential effect of all those is cancer. The cool thing is, at this location, those are reduced so far to where we're meeting that healthy level. Standard. So the arsenic, the haloacidic acids, radium, all those are reduced below the EWG's safe standard. So this potentially could be the best water in Payson.
I would say it is. Yeah. We always want to have the safest, cleanest product available, and that's what also made it so easy to partner up with you guys, is because we took that path. And
and that speaking of this store, that if something were to happen in the water system here, Chris can continue selling drinks knowing that his water's still safe and pure.
Still safe.
And the drinks taste amazing.
The only counterpoint to what you said is that actually it doesn't always make the news.
I guess, sometimes they don't, but I think that's what a lot of people, even within your home, it's important to have that because you've got the safety of those, especially, with yourself and your family. And that was something that was important to us. We always wanted to have the cleanest, safest, best environment out there that we can offer. And that's something I feel like we've done. I was just telling Spence this earlier, but I took a 32-ounce Dr. Pepper. That, by the way, if you can smell a Dr. Pepper, it's good. And I know we got the best Dr. Pepper. Like we bought one to McDonald's and taste test them. But so we decided to get a Dr. Pepper and a Pepsi, and we filled them up, let them sit all day. They still had the carbonation. Wow. They still had that sweet burn. That's what we were after, because it's so frustrating to buy a drink, and if you don't suck it down in the first 20 minutes, it goes flat. And that's something that we've also pride ourselves on, is because we shrink our carbonation. So we're not adding any more, we're just shrinking it.
And those chemicals react, carbonation reacts better with filtered water, with those impurities removed, the chlorine removed. And
And we've kind of talked about like the taste side of the water. There's also a huge part of like the business side of this. Yes, you made a big investment in this equipment. What are some things that you're expecting to see, like on like just saving your investment on your other machines because of the clean water?
The biggest thing we'll see is a great example. We do a crushed ice. Anytime you do a crushed ice, it's notorious. The machines are notorious for going out. They generally will be, because it's such a small ice cube. It's not even a cube, I guess it's a nugget. It's such a small nugget that everything will clump together into a big frozen ball. And that's one of the reasons why a lot of gas stations don't sell the crushed ice, is because of that problem. Ice is very sticky. It's like sticking your tongue to a flagpole on Christmas Story. But when you take care of your water and you chill it and do the things you need to do, our ice is the cleanest ice you can find at any drink shop out there by a long shot. And so we don't have that. And so that's one of the things that helps us as well. Our machine doesn't have to run as often. We don't have the hard water running through it to chew up all the gears. And the biggest thing is your seals that go out. A lot of them you have like your coils, your condensers, those types of things. And so we don't really have a lot of those problems when we take that out of the water.
And without going into too much detail, because I don't want to talk about our secret sauce back there in that room, but we do have a separate system going to your ice machine than we do to your soda machines. And that's just part of how we ended up doing your water filtration was your ice machine needed something a little bit more.
Yes.
Because it's an expensive machine, and like you said, when that machine, I think it wasn't working one day because it ran out of water.
We just went through too much
and
ice.
you noticed immediately. You noticed that you went through more ice than we expected, and it was noticeable that morning, right?
Yes, it was absolutely noticeable. I know Brian. I showed Brian. It was not the same quality as what we had designed in our system, and so when our system's down, we definitely feel that impact. It's that big of a difference. And like I said, we probably spent as much in our system as we did our remodel. But in all honesty, this system is state of the art, and the return on investment will definitely be there.
Yeah, I think so too. Cool. So I did want to talk a little bit too. So you mentioned the other day that you're now looking for a system for your home.
Correct.
What makes you want to do that in your home? Does it have anything to do with the system we put in here?
Well, the biggest thing, I got a house full of girls.
Okay.
And
one of them.
That's one of them. My beautiful daughter is right off there to the left.
Running the shop right now.
Exactly. And not only do they shower in 190-degree water, I swear it's got to be that hot. Holy cow. I've never seen kids shower that hot. But
You're not coming out blistering red. It's not.
Exactly. She's right. You're not coming out blistering red. That's what she said. It's not a good shower. So
you didn't get sterilized.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
Gotta boil yourself out clean.
Yeah, so while they're boiling themselves, they do with the hard water causes a lot of eczema. And when you get kids that are constantly scratching their skins, you're going to the dermatologist, you're buying these creams. To me, that's just a backwards way of looking at it. I always use my analogy of if you get acid reflux, you're putting the wrong garbage in your body. Don't take a pill for it. Just change what you're eating. And your acid, theoretically, it'll go away. Most people, not all. But same thing with my kids. When they got itchy skin, we went to a good soft water. And I have a cheap system in my home. And luckily, Brian had helped me readjust it so it's calibrated correctly because we didn't have it calibrated right, and it's working better, but their eczema went away. But I can tell you this right now, I think it was a couple days, we ran out of salt. And I can promise you, your daughters will tell you when you run out of salt. And so having a good system in your home, it's not just saving your appliances, it's not just saving your fridge, your washer, like even your shower heads, but it's your health. Your health is key. If you want beautiful long hair, I don't have that, but if you want those things, Spence has got that beautiful hair. Yeah,
I'm like your daughters. I notice when the softener's not working, I'm like, wait a minute. Wait a minute. Hold on a second.
Brian, with that beautiful blonde hair.
Brian doesn't understand what we're talking about here.
Waited to touch too long.
He should have.
Yeah, he should have got the salt. Should have got the water a little soft. And I've learned when you buy the cheaper systems, you're just not pulling everything out.
No.
And that's the one thing that we've looked at, and it's really not a big difference in price. You're maybe talking $1,000, but if you overall spread that out over a year's time frame, you're going to use a lot less salt. You're going to have a lot less trips to the dermatologist. Your kids are going to be a lot happier. Yourself, I mean, it's crazy. I mean, that slimy feeling is a good feeling because it's basically keeping that moisture on your body, and it's amazing how water can strip that from you, and it does, but. That soft water makes all the difference in the world, and that's why we want to update our systems because we've realized what you guys offer is a premium product. And I've got I don't know if I can say it's the Huffy bicycle of the softeners in my home.
It's mongoose,
yes. But
you also know a lot about bikes too.
I forgot about that. They got a lot of bike background, but it's you're getting the lowest quality. And the thing I've learned when you make the investment, you're not going to have to spend it again. I have bought that same water softener. Sarah's out of business now, but pretty much the same water softener for the last 20 years, and I bet I bought maybe 10 of them.
10?
10.
See, and that's one thing that we figured out really early on is that Utah's water is so hard and so contaminated that if you don't build these things custom with premium parts, premium media, they just aren't going to last. Yep. That was actually part of the reason we named our company what we did. We're longevity water systems because we cared about like the longevity of your health, your home, and our systems. Yeah. And so when we build them the way we do, we're hoping you're getting 20 years out of these things.
Well, and I'm a fish tank enthusiast, so I do know you've got to have the best water when you're dealing, especially with salt water. Yeah, there's a lot of microns there. There's an entire ecosystem, and anytime you have any type of contamination in that water, you'll kill fish, you'll kill corals. It's very damaging to your tank. I can't even spray Lysol or aerosols in my home because those chemicals will get into that tank and it will just destroy everything. And I've got thousands of dollars in corals in my tank that I work really hard to grow. Yeah. But I used to go to a fish shop that's a certified, trusted site in the aquarium world, and I'd go up there and get my water every day. Well, I can get the water from here now. So I no longer have to drive up there and pay money to do my water changes every 2 weeks when I can just get it right out of my own system. And that's Brian, awesome. It was nice that Brian set me up an extra water line. I get asked all the time what it's for. I'm like, it's my fish line.
It's your fish line. Probably not a good extra product line for Soda Life. Like, hey, come and get your fish water.
Yeah. We're definitely not advertising fish water here.
No fish water.
But it is the best water. So but even in your home, it'd be very easy to put an RO system in because that's what Brian and I talked about. Is being able to not just do the softener, but we'll do the RO water, and then because that's a big spend. I mean, anybody that's a saltwater enthusiast is paying $1 a gallon, $1.25 a gallon, and you're changing out. You're doing a 20% water change every 2 weeks. So you got a 100-gallon tank, you can see how many gallons of water you're going through. Yeah. It adds up quick. And so having the premium stuff in your home, you'd be amazed how much longer it lasts. Yeah. You're not changing water faucets in your bathrooms. You're not getting sprayed and water all over your pants when you're trying to wash your hands from the hard water. I could give you a list of the things that drive me crazy. But more importantly, it sounds crazy, but even the health of your skin, it's an important thing.
Right. So for those keeping track at home, Chris does everything. So mountain biking, fish tank, aquarium enthusiast, soda expert,
air guns,
pinball, air guns.
I'm not an air gun expert, but I sure do like the air guns. Man, they're addicting.
You need a friend like Chris. But yeah, that's great information on both the home and the business side of water filtration. We appreciate all of the information you've given.
Thanks for letting us set up and
no problem.
And thanks for the drinks.
Awesome.
Did Zoe make this one or did Chris make this one for me?
Chris made that one.
She was still asleep.
So this is
okay. She was still waking up. So
did you have any other questions, Brian, before we
No, I mean, this place is awesome. He's got pinball. We
love this place.
Anyway, good food. Amazing drinks.
Tournament this Saturday. Pinball, 8
pinball
o'clock.
Tournament. All right.
And we just got accepted to the International Pinball Flipper Association. That is a thing.
That's a thing.
Awesome.
It's growing in Utah. It's actually really fun. I mean, you'd be surprised how good these kids are. There's no age requirement for it. You can play in teams, but we'll have our first international pinball, the IPFA. Make sure I get that right. Yeah. That'll be February 22nd. So that'll be very limited just because it's people will be coming in to rank their points. But what is, on a side note, really cool about our pinballs is everything's hooked up with Wi-Fi. They're the newest, latest, and greatest machines.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And your score, what's kind of cool, is it's tied in.
Yeah.
So everything... You come here and you can knock someone's score out in another location. So that's what makes them fun.
I still have some high scores up on those machines. Well, until they get knocked out from your tournament.
Yeah. Sometimes that happens.
Yeah. And I guess the last plug would be your pizza sticks. I'm just going to plug those really quick. They're so good. Yep. Come get the pizza sticks, guys.
And they're not fried.
And get they're not fried.
Yeah, we air fry everything here. We went out and got a great. I spent too much on that too, but we got an industrial grade air fryer. Yeah. So we don't have any greasy food. So even our chicken strips, we're getting them from the same as Barry's. They're in Spanish. So
and Longevity doesn't make those. We don't make any air fryers or anything like that. But
we don't.
So don't ask.
Don't ask. Sorry.
Well, thanks, Chris.
No problem. Appreciate it.
That was a lot of fun. And I think next week, hopefully we'll be able to get Brady the plumber on. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see for the next podcast if we can get him.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, Chris.